Hi guys, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host, Aladdin, and today we're doing the list of the worst K-pop albums of the month. In this case, we're talking about July 2023. Now, I forgot to make the one about June, so I decided to add a couple of albums from June as well. These are the more egregious projects, I would say, that came out from that month that I decided to put in here, which are also part of my list of the worst albums of the year. So you might intuitively think who I put in here. But these albums specifically, I would say one thing they have in common is that either a disappointment or they're straight up bad or boring. So there isn't really much. I think this is one of these months where these albums, I think that we can all agree they're just not good for the most part. First we have When with All Of. Now When is somebody maybe you guys know is a singer that I've heard of. I've heard some stuff from him but never was a huge fan, never really listened to his music. This project is just boring. I mean, it's the definition of boredom. Vocally it's lazy, production wise it's even lazier. I think he did a very very bad job himself to pick this up of production for himself because they don't really enhance him. I always there's the artist called Dawn, not Yona's ex-boyfriend. I'm talking the other guy, the one with the A that it's like a V, so it's still Dawn, right? That guy, for example, like he's really really talented. No, sorry, the A is a V, so it's DVWN. That guy, like that guy is super talented, but he also has a very monotone style of singing. But the productions used are always very upbeat. They're different because he understands that because of his very monotone style, he can't really enhance the production as much, so you need a production with more in it so the song sounds better. This album is just straight up boring, straight up disappointing, a waste of time really, because there's nothing good about it. It's just plain and boring, surprisingly. Next we have Oh My Girl with Golden Hourglass. I can't understand why when Oh My Girls comes together they always make this very generic ass music. I listen to UI, I listen to Arin, I listen to the other girls when they make individual songs. They're always very good. They're always fresh, different, cool, modern, always like feel original, feel different. And then you come to here and it's the most generic K-pop group you can hear of. And again, as I said, Oh My Girl wasn't like that in the past, but money is a big thing, guys. I think if you're to a summer con, you had Queen Beats, obvious. Dirty Landing, it's terrible. Paradise is boring. Miracle is the more like, with a super like generic. I don't know if you call Afrobeat or whatever. No, Afrobeat, like a tropical beat, reggaeton type beat. Like, it's such a generic project to the point that it's not even funny. And again, if I told people, and I used to tell people at the time, man, Oh My Girl has such an interesting style. Like, it hasn't been the case the last 3 years. It just hasn't. They became a generic K-pop group, and it's sad to see, I think. Next we have Treasure with Reboot. This is just straight up disappointment as well. I felt like they fucked up everything in his project, from the single, the productions. For whatever reason, they decided to give the group a more darker side to them, and I don't think it really fits them at all. I think them having this playful side, people tend to forget Big Bang, right? Big Bang liked those more edgy songs like Loser, right? But they were the same group that did Fuck It. They're the same group that did, Baby. If you look at the music video, it's very tongue-in-cheek. If you look at even Bang 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 itself, right? Like, or one of my favorite is Sober, right? These are very fun songs, There is not that pretentious, I have to be super dark, right? And definitely Big Bang had that era of it. I'm not saying they didn't. But Big Bang also had a really good style of production, and vocally and artistically, they really fed their image. Treasure didn't. Their best music is their more fun and upbeat and cool and like enjoyable tracks that are just supposed to just listen for fun. So to see them doing this style change, I think didn't work for them at all. It's just my opinion. Next we have NCT DREAM, ISTJ. I think this album is just a disappointment really from NCT DREAM. I thought they had a really cool renaissance this last 8 months. Actually year really, if you want to consider even last year, but specifically this year I thought they had a really really good year. But this album is just not it. They completely botched everything apart from one song, which let me check what it's called because I always forget the name, which is pretty sure it's Broken Melodies. Yes, it's the song, it's the single. I thought it was actually enjoyable. The rest is just, they just confusing. You know how I praised Sparky if you watched the other video about how she does different styles but somehow they fit. This seems like it's always different people, always different. It's clear that they just released 10 songs, they just put 10 songs on an album and go out. And when you do that, I think for a group like NCT DREAM, like really NCT in general, but specifically SM, it's more obvious than other companies when you're doing it. And because normally SM has an idea of how to approach an album from start to finish, regardless who it is. This project is just, let's throw songs because it's the summer, right? So I definitely didn't like that. And I thought, even if I look at it from maybe more detached eye, as not maybe necessarily a fan, and this was my introduction, I'll be felt like, they're whatever, and probably I wouldn't listen to them again. So I wish they put more care, maybe put less songs, give it more of a clear image, but this is more disappointing than anything. You know, they had a great project this year, they had very good songs. I felt like NCT DREAM was really developing an interesting style, and when you do stuff like this, it always makes me scared they might go back to their old habit, but that's just how I feel. Next is Bryan Chase, To You. This is the album talking about the June album that I didn't put. I mean, obviously it's terrible. Bad rapping, bad productions, terrible choruses, terrible usage of the autotune. I mean, it's one of the worst K-pop projects I've heard in years, really. Next we have Yong with Black Diary. This is a very particular project because, I mean, the problem with this project really is that the artist itself is very all over the place. She clearly doesn't really know what she really want to do artistically, so it's hard to really get into the project. Because even if you like maybe a song, I liked the one with Zendazilla, I thought Cheetos was fun, right? But then you have, for whatever reason, you have 30 Rows, which is a completely different song. You have Knocking, which is a completely different song. My Name is a different song, and none of them really are that good. So you end up being left with this idea of it's just a very underwhelming album. And it is one of the worst ones I've heard this month, 100%. Next we have Lapillus, Who's Next. Sorry, similar to Bryan Chase. It's a June album, it's one of the worst albums of the year. MLD Entertainment, they're fucking up everything they could with this group in terms of making them good. They've been fucking them up since the debuting in, I think, September of last year. So fuck them, fuck MLD, and they deserve better. This is a group that I think really deserves a better company, because under another company I think they could be way better. And last but not least we have Rockit Group, Electrifying Rock. It's just a very generic rock album. I mean, we're still doing this type of music. This album sounds 2001, and it would have been bad already in 2001. So yeah, I'm sorry, but this is just not good. Wanna be Avril Lavigne without the talent. That's just how we're gonna say it right now, or at least the rock talent. Because I won't say she can't sing, because she obviously can, but I don't think this is good rock at all, in my opinion, unless you're new to the rock genre. So you might enjoy it because it might sound more of a novelty, but once you start getting to the rock genre, you understand how bad this album really is. And this is it for the worst albums of this month. Like I said, a lot of duds, a lot of could have been better, but we can't really change the way it is, right? It's the way it is. People fuck with it. People love these groups the way they are. A lot of them are very popular. NCT Treasure, Oh My Girl, they're gonna make money regardless of it. I hope obviously Lapillus grows and becomes better, but you know, I kind of gave up on the company because it's similar to DKB. I just know if Brave Brothers are gonna fuck it up somewhere in the long run, and I think in the case specifically, unfortunately, of Lapillus, their company will fuck them up. So, you know, it's more of a situation where I feel like, regardless of everything, again, if they were under SM, I think Lapillus would do some really cool things, I think, but when you get these type of companies that clearly don't care about you, that they're trying to milk it as much as they can, as long as they're elemental investors, and then, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if in 5 years MLD decides to call bankruptcy, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Because the only thing that I'm pretty sure keeps them afloat are those super huge, like, right now I forgot the name of this, Momoland songs. That's the only thing that's keeping them afloat. So, overall, I've enjoyed this month. I felt there weren't a lot of super bad projects, even in terms of singles. I thought, There's some bad songs, but I've heard worse. In fact, the next video is gonna come after those. These ones are the worst songs of the month of July. I didn't feel like it was so bad that I couldn't like enjoy this month, but also if this was by far the weakest month, because from June to May it was incredible. It was one of the best years in K-pop, right? So yeah, this was it for the video. Tell me what are your least favorite, if not what your thought were the worst albums of this month, and see you with the next video whenever that is. Thank you for watching. Remember, comment, like, share, subscribe, whatever. Goodbye.